all for being here, and I got a special guest here. Drum roll for the JD Temple in the house. How are you, bro?
I'm good, man. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it, dude. I really do.
And I appreciate you hopping on here. I know we're both really busy, taking care of stuff with our life, with our magic clients, and there's always a balance, man, when it comes to just like your situations in your life, being able to do things. And so, really, it's a sacred honor to have you here. So,
Oh, thank
it's
you,
awesome,
dude.
bro.
Yeah, it's great
Absolutely,
to be
man.
here. Thank you for having me, dude. Like, sincerely, thank you so much. Like, it's great to be here. Like, I had gotten out of the mood of doing these kind of things for so long, and and like for so many years, I did like tons of live streams, like all the time, and like videos with other people, and I just like really went into like a major hermit mode for quite a while, and I feel that I'm ready to come out of that mode and like really show the world who I am, show the world what I'm capable of, show the world a little bit more of the magic that I do, and like really just immerse my life in it more than I am currently. Like I just really want to take that step into just really just doing this all the time because that's what I love to do. And obviously, like all about that. And it is a hard thing to balance. Like it really is. And like when you have the matrix like working against you, and I'll tell you, like anyone out here that knows, like I always say that if you can schedule your workings ahead of time, like that's definitely the best way to go because you can prepare for them and go through the proper preparatory immersion steps.
Yeah.
Um, but like, also too, there's somewhere I wanted to go with that, and my mind is like going into blubber right now. Hold on. Um, oh my god. Oh, okay. So when you do that, it's the ritual is going to be ultra powerful, but you'll notice too that like the weeks leading up to it, you get a lot of resistance. Like
Hmm.
things will pop up in your life, and like things will start to get in the way, and like weird energies will start to come in and invade your space and try to like get your mind off of what it is that you need to have your mind on, and like start to get you like in this like negative doubting place. And like while that's a major pain in the ass to deal with that shit, it's also a sign to me that your working is going to be very powerful because the matrix already knows what you're going to do, and it's already taking steps to kind of like try to course correct what you're going to do. And
Yeah.
like the more resistance you get ahead of time, the more powerful it's going to be. And so I've got a big working coming up on the Lionsgate portal on the 8th of August. And so like there's already been so many crazy things happening and popping up that I know is like a direct correlation to the energy of that ritual that's like already being
Hmm.
generated on the astral plane. So I know that like I get shivers thinking about it because I'm like, whoa, this is like going to seriously change my life. Like I can already feel it and I already know it.
And
Yeah.
that's feeding so much energy into it because you're already not just like day of. You keep continually feeding it. And
Yeah.
that it does take another level when you were talking about going into the light with some shit too, because you do have to have your protections up, different layers of it, not
Mhm.
just, a cord cut here and there, but definitely keeping that stuff up. And what you were, even saying about like how you had to fully jump on board, man. Like there's a time for the hermit mode, and there's time to shine and
Yeah.
taking that time, dude. And there's couple of different businesses I'm in, and some have shifted, some have collapsed. All like 2024 has been a year of like, what do you want to do in the long term? That's what I've seen. That's what
Yeah.
I see with the government
Mhm.
and like seeing behind the veil and seeing
Mhm.
the truth of this being exposed. And like, I definitely I'm on that vibe, and that's why it's like you have to be true and authentic because you'll be exposed if you're not. And
Yeah.
especially on this path,
Especially
like
right
this.
now, yeah, dude. Especially this year for sure, and next year. Like that's all that shit. Absolutely.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
actually seeing that, I'm very thankful with all the spirits I've been just the accumulation of learning and knowledge. and seeing where I'm at the evolution and not where I was wishing I was. Because if I would have been where I wishing I was, all this packaging of it, learning these lessons, becoming who I need to be, chipping away, becoming sharper at this, seeing what I really care about, all these things, I wouldn't have gotten the bigger picture. And also, like, there's people in Hollywood I bet don't do anything like with magic, and I bet people just out of jealousy throw stuff at them, or just like lots of people watching their movies. Oh, I hate that guy because he's a bad guy in the movie, and like I feel like even that could affect you because you are watching it on a black screen and there is an emotion that they're getting out of it. So
Mhm.
it's real, dude. Like the Matrix itself, like is really it's crazy how the way that the metaphors and the symbolism all play out in your reality, and like I know there's different phases of shit, and, like, then there's other times when you're like, you have to go through the grind and kinda get a new stepping stone, and I mean, heck, I ended up, twisting an ankle on a little while back, and instead of seeing that as a negative thing, it was like Marbosh actually showing me, like, actually walk in a new direction. Like, know where
Mhm.
you're walking towards instead of wasting time, because 'cause you're actually gonna save yourself time on your spiritual development and mission if you learn what you have to cut and take the L on. So then you have all that knowledge that you learn from that. For me, I had some, like, lighting I got to learn about. I got to learn about this, that, and the other, like, I'm so happy about it. I'm not a part of it anymore, but it helped the development. We all are on a process, and the world wants to microwave shit, but like to make everlasting shit, I think you really have to build that shit with the diamond, like
Yeah,
all the hard shit, man. And that's
you
why I feel
do.
like it's that or to be
Yeah,
destroyed.
yeah, yeah. You definitely have to be willing to be destroyed, and I think that's a big part of like all right. So this was definitely a pivotal moment for me, and I know a lot of people can relate to this and understand it. And there's some people that are wanting to take this step that because I know that it does certainly increase your magical prowess, and it attunes you to these magical frequencies even more when you separate yourself from whatever religion that you've been indoctrinated into, like a reverse baptism. Like it certainly is an important thing, and like when you do that, even if you don't go as far as doing a reverse baptism, you need to do a ritual with the intent that you are willing, and you are willing to thrust yourself into the pit, into the abyss, with the knowing that there will be no one there to save you in that moment. No one. Like Jesus is not coming. No one is coming. Like there is a good potential that in involving yourself in these practices, maybe that's what's going to happen. Maybe, but like in order to find out, you have to be willing to like throw yourself off of that cliff to really know, right? To
Yeah,
really
yeah.
you do. And like if you're holding back in that way, you're never going to ever really be able to discover the true magic that is in this. Like, and I know that's crazy, right? Like, oh, like you're saying that you're willing to destroy your soul for all eternity in order to like have this here and now. Like, well, yeah, and like I feel that God would think that that's what He would do. He would be a badass like that, and he would be willing to give it all up to just find out. Maybe there is more. Maybe there is something greater. Maybe this isn't all there is. And like in order for me to really find that out, I have to be willing to destroy myself entirely and give all of this up, like in order to truly realize that. And like for a lot of people that's a hard thing to do, because in the back of their mind they are thinking like what if. And I get it, like I still have those thoughts sometimes, but I really try to, it's not too hard for me to push them aside anymore, because I'm like, no dude, like, because if you really do consider that you are everything and everyone is you and you are everything else, then like there is no hell. There is no
Well,
God that's going to be judging you. You're just judging yourself, and I'm not sending myself to hell. So I
it's
don't
in
think there is a realm where you're going to be punished for all eternity, unless that's what you fucking firmly believe.
Well, that and the thing is it comes down to your intent, and that's the biggest thing behind all this for me. I came from a hardcore Christian background, but through finding history, not just me being like, "Oh, I want to be an edge lord." No, like by going to ancient history and seeing like things that are showing the truth, and also humans manipulation, whether it's in the government or the religion itself, into condensing the spirit into a box versus to shine forth as Lucifer would allow, basically brought forth for your illumination and bring that forth here on this plane, and they want to keep kind of just keeping you in those chains. So my mindset's like, look, like I'm going all in, and I'll work with whatever for the greater good, and I can't give a shit what anything thinks or anyone thinks because I see a purpose, and like it kind of goes to you and I guarantee we have two different relationships with Lilith. You and I have two different relationships with Belial. So when people ask you, how do they treat?
They're
Like,
all
how are
unique.
they?
Yeah, every
They
single person's relationship with that spirit is going to be very unique and very different, I feel.
ex,
And that's what
ex,
Lucifer told me. It's always going to be. It's unique. Yeah.
and that's what it comes down to for me. It's like, what's the ultimate purpose? Like, there are certain like minuscule things that we do want in life. You know, maybe it is that keep the job or get this job or whatever, these small things. But then there's like aeonic stuff where it's like doing things that are going to be able to make a bigger ripple that's going to make a bigger effect, that working with these spirits instead of them just working to do smaller things. When you work with them in collaboration to do bigger minded things that maybe take years, but then going through the process and saying I'm on that, I think that gives you the biggest rewards. But I what I
Mhm.
want to definitely say to you, dude, is like there is no because I know that dogma of the soul and all that, but like I've never in a ritual said my soul is anyone's other than my fucking own. I don't
Yeah,
give a shit. And anything that
absolutely.
if someone did say that in a ritual, you could do a akashic cleansing and get rid of that shit. All
Yeah.
I'm saying is like people need to realize like it is going all in, but, like, there's some things that I'm not just gonna fucking say because I'm that sovereign, and the spirits, Belial would say, "You better not fucking say something, you better stand up, motherfucker," and
Yeah.
that's honestly, I think that spirit, it drives in me more than anything. With other
Hmm.
spirits and my
He's a
relationships with other
badass
spirits.
fucking
Yeah,
energy, right? Ooh,
he's like, "Step the fuck up," and
man.
then we go work with that other spirit. If you don't like them, just say you don't like them and move on with something else. Shut
Yeah.
the fuck up, and
He's
that's
cool,
why
right? Uh-huh.
he's why I had to shave my head, man. He
Uh-huh.
was really the reason
Fuck
why, and
yeah.
I was it's like, "Dude, you wanna worry about what your face looks like, your hair looks like all the time, dude? Pussy.
Dude.
Shave your head." And it's like, "Alright, dude, like,
There you
that's
go.
hardcore, man." Let's go
Mhm.
ahead and read these comments. Thank you all for being here, and then I'll bring up some questions. Friar Pestle, what's up? Thank you for
What up,
being
bud?
here. Sarah Sawyer, what's going
What's up,
on? Thank
baby? Hey,
you.
sweetheart.
James Drockbean King. I hope I said that right, but I appreciate you being here. Thank you. Let's see if there's any questions. T Man, what's going on, T Man? I've been listening to some of your questions you say to EA, like when I listen to his stuff on replay. So, T Man, I'm happy you're here, brother. Thank you.
What's up, Key Man?
Brady Daigle, what's going on? Thank
What's
you for
up,
being
Brady?
here.
Hey, dude.
Damn, hand responder. Okay. James Draken, I will definitely get back to you on that email, 100%. Damn best. Thank you for
What up,
being here,
Dylan?
bro. I'm always seeing you
Fuck
doing
you.
some cool shit online, man.
Mhm.
Like, man, just keep on kicking ass like you freaking are every day, dude. And like, we're gonna all be at
Mhm.
the freaking top, man.
Hell yeah.
Lori Willie Yorkie, what's going on? Oh, Wiley Coyote. Freaking. I like that. I like that. Fun boy, you got a question, and thank you for being here. Any advice about added protections you might need while using astral travel or the scrying mirror? Just looking for extra advice. If you want to go first, brother, and then
I would
I'll.
say like incorporating black tourmaline, around your space. I mean, that's always a great one. I mean, you really can't go wrong there. Like if you get like six decent chunks of black tourmaline. And then like cleanse your space with Palo Santo and
Ooh.
maybe use Florida water too to cleanse yourself prior. That's going to help to protect your aura and to kind of like really add an extra layer of protection to your auric field and your energy when you are astral traveling. So I would say Palo Santo, Florida water, and black tourmaline would be my three suggestions there to, yeah.
I'm gonna give another three. On top of that, right there, I would definitely incorporate some wards or protective
Yeah,
seals.
definitely. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Put that in your temple. Also put that around your house, and even if it's like with oil, put it on your vehicle. Like seriously, like go as hardcore as you can with protection. You can't overdo protection. That's all I know.
And
So
and really like when you're talking about like like energizing those protective wards and sigils and things, like really visualize that opening up as like a very powerful energetic portal and like see it for what it really is and like know that like it's going to keep out what it needs, like whatever's trying to come through.
yeah, you could even just like look at JD's t-shirt and imagine that energy just blasting out shit because that those two colors and that shit goes hard. I would
Yeah,
use it.
I think Mothra and I made this together. She made this design. She's like a really badass tie-dyeist.
Damn,
So
I was
yeah,
never good at that shit. I
yeah.
need to learn the ways of the
Mm.
tie dye.
She's
What's the
knows how to do all kinds of crazy things. Like I have no idea. She's really good at it.
fuck yeah, dude?
She's going to
Oh,
make some videos for the Patreon that I'm going to have coming out soon that will be doing some tie dye things, and we're going to have candle making and all kinds of cool shit.
oh shit! That was one of my questions I was gonna ask you if you had your Patreon up because I heard you.
Not yet. It's
Okay.
coming. It's coming. Yeah, I'm going to be doing like Malta and I are going to be doing like a monthly black mass with Lucifer, and then a monthly healing ritual with Baruch. So there's going to be like several different offerings on the Patreon. The biggest one is going to be the monthly black mass. Like this is something that I've been like urged to do for a really really long time. And I want to like this is something that like Lucifer in my recent meditations has showed me that like like in your relationship with these spirits that there are levels, like just like there are levels in working through like the Masonic Lodge, from like initiate up to like 33-degree master mason or what have you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like it's similar with working with spirits, like you could be like a level one Belial, or you could be like a level 33 Grand Master Belial, right? Like
Yeah.
as far as like your experience and relationship with them, right? The more time
Yeah.
you've had put in, the more experiences you've had with them, you've been through the rankings and you kind of climb it's not really climbing up the ladder, it's going deeper into their mysteries, right? And so like that's where I'm really at with Lucifer is like I'm like this black mass is going to assist me and everyone that participates in it every single month and going deeper and deeper and deeper into his mysteries. They're like, like, dude, and I mean, I know that you will certainly agree, and probably everybody here, like the way that I see reality today is so radically different from the way that I saw reality even 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago. Holy shit. Like, the further back you go, it just gets crazier and crazier and weirder and weirder. And like,
Yeah.
like they were whole separate lifetimes. Like every 7 year segment seems like it was an entire different reality, really and truly.
Yeah.
And it's crazy, dude. And like I'm definitely in the 7 year cycle of this is all about going deeper into who I am and deeper into who these spirits are that I work with and commune with. Like the depth of those relationships and the depth of relationship with my partner. Like I want to explore the depths of all of those things to as far as I can take it. right? Like
a
it,
hundred
that
percent.
seems to be like all of that seems to be vital. Like I just need to dig deeper and peel off more layers and dig deeper and peel off more layers and dig deeper. And like that is something that I'm just compelled to do, you know, like that seems to kind of be like what the theme of my life is at the moment.
Well, you've seen different fruits from the workings, and here's something that people have to understand too. Like we've seen fruits of prior workings in our past and how it's changed us, made us evolutionize who we are and grow in different types of ways, changing diets, changing different spiritual practices, learning different shit. And it really does open up the horizon of like just like our consciousness. Like, oh, I learned more about this, I learned more about this. I learned more about
Right?
myself. I
Yeah.
unlock this,
It's crazy. Oh,
you
it's
can't
so crazy, dude. What the fuck? Like, it's
and
even
every day,
happening
dude,
anymore, man. You
every
know?
day, dude, like, when you have the synchronicities day by day by
Uh,
day, like, you're like,
Yeah. Oh my
either it's
God.
a simulation or the literally the spirit my spiritual, like, connection to the, other entities is just so it's so right there in front of me, and I do feel like people who have, like, been involved, but they not really, like, there are those people that put their foot kinda in and they pull it out and they put it in.
Mhm.
Those
Yeah.
people get fucked up because they can't
Yeah.
handle the synchronicities and the omens, and, like, for me, I'm like, "Fuck yeah." They're like, "I'm going to the church." I'm like,
Yeah, like
"Shit,
this is
dude,"
getting
like,
too weird. Like, what the fuck is going on right now, man? Like, yeah,
yeah, yeah,
dude.
yeah, and
Like,
they
yeah.
can see it, like,
I
on the
love it though,
s
dude. I love it. Like, you know, as crazy as it is, it does help me to make sense out of the chaotic mess my life has been. Like, it really does. Like, I know that sounds like it doesn't even make sense, but it does. Like, oh, like, ooh,
dude,
like the oh,
psychedelics, whether you're on them or you're just living a conscious life, very spiritual, you have those synchronicities. You have those different things just appearing and they're coming inside of your like
yeah.
to your like awareness and then you change through it.
And try living with another witch. You know, like is that
Yeah.
something? I don't know if that's something that you have experienced yet, but like living with another witch, dude. Holy fuck, that takes things to a whole nother level of craziness, but a whole nother level of amazingness though too, because as crazy as it is, like wow, like having that other energy that like syncs with yours and like you're both coming to these understandings together and both having like some opposing views and like help you to kind of like really come to terms with what you really truly believe and feel like that's an amazing experience. And I know that's one that you're going to have here soon for sure.
I've
And
definitely I've had it like with this girl who I called my sister. She ended up passing away, but she was the most psychic
oh
person I had ever met, and she helped me understand like what I was seeing wasn't like like it was real. But the thing that was crazy with her was I had to be like my like Anakin, mind your thoughts. That's all I could think of because like, they could totally read my thoughts, and she was attractive, and she wasn't my sister, but, you know, my mind, I treated her like
yeah.
that. But I was anytime I thought of, her, like, really attractive, she'd look at me, she's like, I can see what you're seeing." I'm like, "Oh
Yeah,
my gosh, okay." So,
like don't
like
be thinking that, boy.
yeah, yeah, exactly, like, I know I'm looking good,
That
but,
boy.
like, but that I mean, and that's something too, like, I do feel like even having animals or having a relationship, people, and this isn't even necessarily spiritual, but in the sense it is spiritual, you put too much, like, "I need this," and then you don't put the time into it and or responsibility, like, understanding, like, if you're gonna be in a relationship, that's gonna take time, that's gonna take work,
Yeah,
that's a
it's hard.
responsibility. It is hard, dude, it's
Yeah.
you have life, you have
It's
your
supposed
own
to be,
things you're going
you
for.
know? It's supposed to be hard. If it's not hard, it's boring, dude. No
Yeah,
one
yeah,
wants
yeah,
that.
yeah.
No,
Someone
dude,
sitting on the couch.
nobody wants that. Like I, you know, like I mean, I've had some great relationships. I've had some really, you know, great ones that were unfortunately boring, you know, and like I need someone that's going to challenge me, that's going to like spice my life up, that's going to it's going to make love to me really good. It's going to do magic with me. That's going to like really be like, you know, that true. divine feminine counterpart, and I have that in Mothra, and it's so fucking cool and it's so amazing. Like, oh, it's crazy, dude. Like
You still
it's
do that
wild.
ritual with her?
It's
You
wild.
do you guys still do that, you both unite and do that and
Yeah,
then do that
yeah.
for us?
It's not. We're gonna put it on the website because I got my boy Friar Pestle on board. He's on the team jdtemple.info that's doing all the behind the scenes website work and things for me and for us. And so we're gonna be having that listed on the website soon. But yeah, but sex magic ritual, what we do with that, we call upon Lilith and Asmodeus, but I'll use the conjuration from the rite of deification to pull the spirit from the soul and body of the person that we're working with, and so that they will appear in the triangle alongside Lilith and Asmodeus, and we will insert and inject that or that fucking potent ass sexual energy into the spirit of the client, and it also goes to Lilith and Asmodeus, and they also both receive a blood offering. So it's like dude, it is insanely powerful, and like I've I'm a 44-year-old man. Obviously, I have some experience, but like I have never experienced anything quite like what Mothra and I share together with any other person in this world. It's really fucking just it's crazy, dude. I can't, I just want to like fold into myself and dissipate into a fractal thinking about it. Like it's that crazy. It's like it's crazy, dude. So, utilizing that energy, her and I have really been able to manifest really everything that we want through sex magic, and so that's really been our really like the cornerstone of our practice. Like for the longest time, and we still do, and she does primarily. We have a sacrament that we partake in. That is a psychedelic that really does help to expand our perceptions and of things in this world, and to really help us to see beyond the veil. But also too, as far as magic goes, like that is really where we made the biggest impacts in our lives to really sculpting and molding life that we want is through that type of sacred sexual union in a magical way.
Mhm.
And with both of us having, sexual spirits attached to us, every time that we come together, it's not just her and I, it's her and I and those powerful spirits that are really kind of like a part of us at this point. Um, they come together too. And it's so intense that I'm sure it would probably scare some people, really. Like, it probably would. It would probably scare some people. To me, it's beautiful, and I couldn't have it any other way. It's I don't know what else to say. You have to
It's a
experience it for
spiritual
yourself.
that's what I'm
it's
saying, it's a
very
spiritual
it's very spiritual. you
no, 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 to that
know?
level of, like I one time the only
Yeah.
thing I've ever, like, I was dating someone and I was on a psychedelic, and then we had our union, and that felt like Avatar, watching that movie when they connect with the birds that they fly
Oh
on, and it's
God,
like,
yeah.
oh yeah, that whole, like, intertwine, all that type of stuff, and
Dude,
I was like,
that
"Oh,
energy is so palatable and so powerful, dude. Like, ooh, it really is. And ooh, like I, I don't know. I've always enjoyed that type of energy, like, but to be able to cultivate it and to actually utilize it and put it towards like molding your reality, that's like whole other level type of shit right there. And so I'm very lucky, to have a great partner, in that regard. I mean, there's a whole other millions of reasons why. It's not the only reason, but that's just an added bonus. Um,
the power of creation you're able to funnel into a ritual, and to be able to have someone else who fundamentally gets what you're doing versus you just doing it and saying I'm doing that, and the person being like, huh? Okay,
mhm.
say you're whatever, like, So, like, that is incredible, and, like, that takes things to the next level, and, you're talking about, the spiritual companions, and we have our mutual, client that was asking a few questions to me, and I only had a few answers to give because this is your wheelhouse, and so I was like, "Dude, this
Mhm,
is gonna be freaking awesome," but, um when it comes to having a spiritual companion, besides doing some mantra, like I told them about Ik Kurm Kusuma, which is spiritual desire manifesting, and just saying that over and over and over, and bringing that forth, and then roses, do some burned offerings, as well as anytime that you want to release, maybe put a sigil and burn that, and um they're still not having the full connection. They're still psychically like they know the spirit's there,
mhm,
but they haven't had the full connection or the physicality of that.
mhm.
So if someone was like doing those type of things and they've done everything like proper along those lines, what would you say to them to help elevate that? And
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
things
like,
along that.
so there's some things that you can do every night before you go to bed to anoint your body, and that would be to anoint your seven main chakra points with lavender oil. And then, and you want to use therapeutic grade because that's safe to put on your skin.
Yeah.
So anointing your seven main chakra points with lavender oil, and then getting rose oil and anointing the palms of your hands, the bottoms of your feet, and then your genital area with the rose oil, which is the highest vibrational oil that you can get.
Wow.
So utilizing that lavender oil and that rose oil kind of as like a nightly ritual before you go to bed, like when you're brushing your teeth or what have you. And then daily communication, because you have to remember, like, once this spirit has been bound to you, that spirit is with you, like right beside you pretty much all the time. And so you
Mm,
have to have consideration for that spirit, and if you ignore that, if you just ignore the spirit all the time, then you're
mm,
really not going to be feeding her any energy, and she's going to feel that like you're not really interested in cultivating an actual relationship. So you really need to, like, especially like when you're driving is a great time because it does kind of put you in like a brain state or a
mm,
brain wave where you're very receptive to things.
mhm,
That is when you're going to have at least for me, like that's when I had the most spirit interaction, is like when I'm driving and I'm driving in silence. I will have them start to speak to me and come in and start to give me information. And so when that spirit begins to communicate to you, you need to communicate back to that spirit. And it can be anything. Like as soon as you feel the energy, you can, telepathically say, "Hello, I know you're here with me. Thank you for being here today. I love that you're here. Here's what I'm doing today. I'm excited about it." Or here's why I'm hating today already because it sucks because of X, Y, and Z, and like share that with the spirit. And so you just want to periodically throughout the day share of yourself and of your heart with that spirit. And the more you
mm,
do that, the more the bond is going to solidify. And that will lead to more of a physical interaction with them. A lot of them really want to see that you're going to put skin in the game and put some effort into it. And they're not just going to give you a full physical manifestation right away. They're going
mhm,
to make sure that you are like really, really, really wanting it, and like that you're going to invest some time, you're going to invest some effort. You're going to not forget about them for weeks on end. That, like, basically every single day, you're going to spend some time interacting and communing with them. Because, again, like once they are directly bound to you, their spirit is right there with you all the time. And if you're just ignoring that for days and weeks on end, the energy is going to dissipate and it's going to be very hard to make that connection. The more you keep in contact with the spirit, the more you interact with the spirit, the more you share of yourself with the spirit, the that inner, you create more energetic chords with that spirit, and then it's able to communicate with you in an easier way. It's able to come cross through and have interactions with you that are more physical, that can stimulate your chakras and all that kind of crazy things that people experience. But that's kind of what
That's
it takes, really, is communication and effort.
okay. Yeah, it's so I was saying to them, like the right deification with from JS, doing something along those lines, radionics box, sending that energy constantly into them. But you speaking about communication, that's something I didn't really think so much about,
Yeah,
here and there. Like as long as like my mindset's like, dude, if you're giving them energy, it's gonna be all right. Like they're gonna be like, oh, thanks
yeah.
for
No,
basically.
because here's the thing about it that I've come to understand and discover about these spirits is that, like, there is an exchange that's taking place, and there is a reason why these spirits want to enter into a long term relationship with you. And it's because they want to have the human experience. And through this union, they get to have that. And what they give you in exchange for that is magical power, magical gnosis, protection, and really a glimpse into like fifth dimensional consciousness and some really crazy, physical experiences if that's what you want.
Mhm.
Like, that's something that I only allow to emanate through me or interact with me when I'm with my partner,
Mhm.
because I feel very strongly about this, that you know anyone that has a spirit companion like this, if you do have a physical partner, they should know about
Yeah,
that,
I
right?
totally agree with that.
Yeah, and if you both agree that, okay, that's not going to be happening when you're not around. It's only, and like for me, I'm very strict on that. Like I don't have any interaction with that type of spirit without it being a sexual experience with Mothra. I allow that
Mhm.
spirit to come in when I'm with her and we enjoy it together. It's not something that I would do on my own without her, because I would feel that that would be betrayal, because it is, because it
Uh,
really is that real, and so
it's
yeah,
spirit to
that's how
spirit.
I roll with it.
Even though like you're in a physical incarnation and Mothra's in a physical incarnation, it's still spirit to spirit. And like that's the thing that's just so profound with the companion, that intimacy, that closeness to it all, and just like
I know what it's
laying
like to
time,
be in
man.
a relationship and be jealous of a spirit. As crazy as that sounds,
No,
I've been there. I've
I could
been
already
there, and
understand that.
and it will drive you insane. It'll drive you crazy, bro. For real.
Yeah,
No, it
there's
really will. Yeah.
no, I
That's
could.
a that's a word to the wise right there of anyone that's ever thinking about that. Especially if you have someone in the relationship that's going to be reckless with it and like not respect it, or you. Oh man, that can bring in a whole mess of issues. But I would,
That's
again, like, I don't operate like that.
And that's also why I think whether it's with a relationship with who you're in a relationship with, or a spirit, or friends, business associates, whatever, clairvoyant, like I don't know, like transparency is the word I was actually wanting to use. Being so like forthfront and honest and authentic, so you don't have to try and cover a lie. You get to be truthful and upfront with the spirit on what you're going for, and also like with all your interactions and your friendships and all that people who really matter, like, you don't have to feel like you're gonna be stabbed in the back because you're being honest with people. Now, sometimes scummy people do get in your circle, but that's also why, like, as you're working, I feel deeper into this field with spirits and stuff, especially when I was speaking about like the aeonic, like generational, bigger goals. I think
Hmm.
those spirits are like, nah, this person ain't gonna get involved. That person ain't gonna get involved, and I mean that's early on in my magic state just like getting into it. I got into it like late teens because of love magic. And what I learned from it is like, dude, dude, love yourself, one. And number
Yeah, so
two,
important, man.
you have
It's
so
so
many
hard.
bigger well, especially all the
God,
programming
man.
of the world. But like
Fucking hard.
once you know yourself, you know your like most of your purpose. I'm not saying you know every aspect,
Yeah,
but
dude.
different
Being on
things
your
that give you
purpose is
five.
an important one. You're right.
Then
It's
you're
everything.
able to go forward and shit's not
Yeah,
gonna stop you, and then the
it's
spiritual is gonna be
everything.
beside you, and then they're also
Mhm.
gonna be like, you're not gonna let that trash person, just because 'cause you're lusting for 'em, throw off your whole entire, trajectory of where you're
Yeah,
going. Nah, nah, dude. In fact, guess what? That chick just left that you're about to go talk to. So, yeah, she's out of there, like, get done, and so that's something too, like, when it comes to searching and all that stuff, I don't really actively search for shit because I'm like, I'm so excited about my own journey, and I'm like, "Screw it, dude," and the right thing comes, but
yeah,
being
it definitely.
honest ab
They're gonna want what you have, and they're gonna be want to be around you and that and what you're creating and that beautiful
yeah.
energy. Like,
It's like, "Oh, do you
oh,
wanna do some black magic? Oh, you're a hardcore Christian." Like, I've talked to this one girl that, like, she was, like, a Christian, but she doesn't say anything about what I do, but she knows everything I do, and I'm like, it's one of those, I already know how the feeling is, and I'll eventually change him. He'll hop on board and come
shit.
to my church and all that, and I'm like, "Look, like."
Once they do a ritual with you, they'll be like, "Oh my god, this is so fucking awesome!" Like, fuck yeah,
Yeah!
yeah,
Yeah,
you know,
like, shit,
yeah.
actually call Lucifer and Jesus both in,
Oh
like, and
shit,
that shit
fuck yeah, oh yeah,
drop that
beautiful,
bomb on that shit. Oh,
beautiful.
I got a couple more questions, and then I'll read some of these. I did also want to just like let everyone know, like your as of today, your tarot readings are superb. And if anyone like
No,
literally needs
thanks,
someone,
man.
dude, like I get a tarot reading with this guy,
Hmm.
and I don't even ask the question. He says, "No, don't ask your question." I'm like, "Dude, like, I want to do this tarot reading because the specific question. No, no, don't worry about that. I'm just gonna pull out the cards." And like, you give not only the cards out and have the understanding of those, but also higher spiritual like connections to the cards from the pictures in that to your astral vision. It's like you get the only way I feel as if it is like the shamanic energy just circles around you and you're just in it and then you're just seeing it all and you're placing it right forefront to the person you're doing it for and like it really is super badass and like if you need to find answers that without even asking the question, this is the man to go to. So I did want
Thank
to shut you out,
you.
brother.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I don't even list that on my site because I really don't like read for people that often. Like only really when they come to me and like, like that's like the only time that I really do it and I want to do it more and I love doing it. So yeah, hit me up, on my email. It'll be on my website soon, but yeah, dude, thank
I'll
you.
drop
I,
some stuff
I
down
love it.
below.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thank you
dude.
so
No,
much. Yeah.
100%, dude. Thank you. Like that's something too. As you're on this journey, you do get to meet up with some badass people that each one's
Mhm.
like, "Oh, here's this, here's this. Let's fucking keep moving forward,
It's
soldier."
been so crazy, mind blowing. Like, man, like this whole journey, dude, has just been, like I had to sacrifice a whole other life to live this life that I'm living now. And like, I'm getting back a lot of what I have lost from that whole sacrificing of it, like I'm getting, I lost my home and my family and my daughters and my beautiful temple and a big part of my business. And, Belial really put me through the ringer, just like he told me he would. Just like he told me he would, and so I wasn't surprised, he fucking took me through living hell for like 4 or 5 years, 6 years maybe. And just like he said too, that I would basically like rebuild my life from nothing and that I would have to start all over. And that's exactly what the fuck happened. And I'm still doing it, but I'm doing it, god damn it. And like
Mm.
it's crazy, man. Like the experiences you can have with these spirits. And that's why like really I recommend to everyone like record every single ritual that you do because in this one that I'm referring to, it was a pact that I was trying to enter into with Belial, and he overtook me so strongly that I blacked out and didn't know what the fuck happened and had like 30 minutes of interaction with him that would have been totally lost if it wasn't being recorded. And it was profound and it was crazy. And I can tell you right now that everything he came through and spoke through me and said is exactly what transpired in my life in the last 7 years, dude. Straight the fuck up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'll
Scary.
tell you what, he crushes your, at first. Now I have a different relationship, but those first couple, it
Yep.
was like, "You're asking me for something that fucking minuscule, you fucking peasant. Look at yourself inside the goddamn mirror, you fucking trash." Like, I felt like trash leading the ritual, and then the things exterior in my life, that was one of the worst time my first time working with him, I was out running out and it was winter and I kept seeing this face of two horns laughing that was like blue flames, like, "I'm coming." I'm like, "I know who it is." And then that's when I got an email from JS, like, "I just wanna let you know, Sergeant said you need to work with Belial." I'm like, "Fuck, dude." And then that I worked with him, and during that time slot when I lost my father, and I actually, like, fundamentally as a person who I thought I was, what I was standing for, the journey I was on, whether it career at the time, where I was living, everything crumbled like obliteration. And then that's when it's like the spirits break down the bullshit, but that was Plasticville. Now it's spiritual. And that's also something too. We've been building and chiseling
Yeah.
away some of the bullshit. And like the spirits aren't looking at, "Oh, you want that? All right, in 2 months we'll get it to you." They're like, "Oh, you want that? We'll
Dude, I,
take you
I don't
there."
even live in the same reality that I lived in like fucking like 2 years ago, especially not 5 years ago or 10 years ago.
Oh
What the
yeah.
fuck, dude? It's so crazy. Like, whoa, man. And
No,
and
I
I,
know.
oh, dude, the rabbit hole just gets crazier and crazier. And like, oh, like, dude, when you've been doing this long enough, you can't help but start to see that like the shit is happening for you. And it doesn't matter how crazy it gets, like it is really just a reflection of how insane things are inside of you. And you just need to correct that. And the outside world will reflect back to you what you're putting out to it. And it is true. And I know that. And like I'm seeing it more and more. And it's like a really crazy responsibility to have, because we all have it, but at the same time, like because we are all separate, but we are collected and we are all connected, and it is important that we all do these things. And
Mhm.
so, yeah, I don't
And
know. It really is just a lot to take in, and so for a lot of people, like just if it gets to be too much, it's okay. Just don't give up on your path because it's that important and it's hard for a reason.
and
You know.
and you know what? Actually, this brings me into, one of the questions. Like, when it comes down to different ways for grounding yourself or just getting, like, maybe breath work, like, I just wanted to hear some of your thoughts on different things that you do for exercises to help people, because I've seen is through people go through, like, this ascension process, the synchronicities come about or it's getting hardcore, they can really feel the energy or all this stuff, like, is there certain things I know you mentioned the bath and all that stuff,
Yeah, well, I think the biggest one for a lot of people is really just being alone and
mhm,
disconnecting from electronics. And like literally, what I really recommend and what I found important in my own practice and in my own, coming of age into from a initiate into a sorcerer, would be that like find a place where you can be in like absolute pitch black darkness to where it almost scares you and sit there Indian style naked for 3 hours and sit with your own thoughts and sit with your own energy and sit with yourself. And that's a hard thing to do for a lot of people. And you'll find that, like, there's that coming to terms with yourself, but you'll also feel that, like, there's energies that begin to swirl around and behind you and everywhere and all around you. And they're curious and they want to connect and they want to communicate with you. And the more you do these kinds of things, spending time in solitude, alone, in the darkness, naked, open, searching with your feelers out and your full intention of communing with whatever is out there in the darkness, that really does initiate you into witchcraft and black magic to me. Like that was a big part of it for me. Spending time alone in solitude and quiet away from any electrical things is
Mm.
important. Spending time in nature,
No,
you know, and
totally, totally,
yeah,
because you're not having all that psychic energy from other people in the city, or if you're living with someone, having someone there for that, and then that's always
yeah,
constant, and it's always a bombardment of your own system. So if you don't even know your own system, how can you go into anything
yeah,
with like
yep,
you're going to get anxiety and you might think it's a ritual, but in fact, it's like the yelling that you've been having to experience and you haven't decompressed. And that's something too, decompression. Find a way to be able to decompress. That's what's helped me out more than anything on this
yeah.
magical journey
Managing
is
stress is hard, and I'm terrible at it, man. You know, like I'm a quick self medicator, and I've been, really working hard to try to curb that, but I still have weaknesses with alcohol here and there, and luckily no hard drugs anymore at all.
and that's
But
something too,
that's a
man.
thing that many magicians can fall into very easily.
Yeah,
So
no, dude.
everybody be careful of that. I only have 5% battery left. I'm just letting you know, so it might cut out
Okay,
in
that's
4
okay. So
minutes.
we'll aim for 10 minutes left, 9 minutes,
Okay.
everyone.
Yeah.
So everyone, thank you for letting me know. If you have any questions
Yeah.
specifically, put them down at the bottom. I know I guys, I'm gonna be honest, I might be one of the worst people when it comes to reading comments because I get so immersed in the freaking person. Like, oh gosh, okay, dude. Let's just make sure we're all good here. L sucks at Fortnite. I don't even know who this is, but okay. I guess guys, I'm
What?
not good at Fortnite. It's
Weird.
no big
That's
deal.
kind of weird.
Dang, dude. Okay. Yikes. You know what? Actually, I wanted to ask you about the Black Web armor. That
Oh,
whole
dude,
experience.
yes. Thank you for doing that. All right,
Yeah.
so it was really weird because you did this for me at a very auspicious time in my life because I was like really, really down in the dumps and in the gutter. And like right after you did it, I felt like I went into some really crazy deep introspective shit into my mind that made it was really difficult, but ultimately ended up being awesome and amazing. So it took me through like it helped me to do a really crazy psychological shift, and it also helped me to like see like after I came out of that, I needed ketamine therapy really badly, and that helped me so fucking much. And it was that ritual that you did for me that led me to that. So like
Mhm.
I felt like definitely the shroud of like a magical imbuement around me. Like anytime someone that does a ritual like that for me, like a powerful one, I feel it like a iridescent blue light, like a shell or something almost, kind of forms around my aura basically. And I definitely felt that with this. And so it showed me that I really, really needed that medicine. And I did that medicine. And that was the thing that really helped to kick the I had a really crazy anger issue going on that I didn't know how to deal with. And it was those treatments that really helped me to get through that. And it was that ritual that really like I don't know, it brought that into my reality basically
Mm.
to where it wasn't before at all.
It's
So
like
it helped me in many ways. It helped me in many, many, many ways. Yes. So thank you for that, dude. That was crazy. And I will tell you at first I was like, "Oh my god, this I am like my shit is." It was a little hard to handle at first. For like the first 3
uh,
days, I felt like I was like and I remember telling Mothra I was like, "I don't even want to message him right now because I'm like I'm feeling kind of crazy." But it all made sense. And like so that's what people need to remember is that like in all of these rituals you never know how you're going to respond or how you're going to feel energetically, and that does not mean jack shit really, because you're going to go through whatever you need to go through in order for that ritual to be a success. And like sometimes there's things that you need to get out of you, and there were some things I needed to purge out of myself, and this facilitated that purge. And I could kind of like feel and sense, I think, energetically what I was getting ready to go through, that shit was difficult. That treatment was easy. And I'm never doing it again and I don't look forward to it, but it did help me. And so
to get
Yeah,
what needs to be
that
done.
ritual set off a whole course of events that ultimately led to a huge shift and change in my life that was monumental as fuck. Yeah,
Fuck yeah,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Thank you.
And
Yeah.
that's how real magic works, man. And that's beautiful. And it's an art, and it's like I don't know, dude. People just don't understand. They really don't. They don't get
Well,
it. And I mean, some
they're
people
not
do.
gonna ride with it, dude,
Some
and
people
you
do.
need
Some
to.
people do, dude. Some people do. But I will tell you that I fucking do, and I swear by it, and I know it's real. And like what you're doing is beautiful and potent and fucking awesome. And thank you, like a thank you so much.
Dude,
Yeah,
thank you, man. Like
yeah.
I've only seen throughout the years, like, and I've said this to a few of the realists, man. But there's people who have come and go, and there's people who have been authentic, and people who are truthful. And I'll tell you what, man, you are very truthful to the fucking world about everything. Like you are
Yeah.
not a fake person at all, and
I've
that's what I
told some
appreciate
shit that
about
I
you,
would never
man.
tell anyone. That I've told shit about myself that I should never have told the world. But like I felt that it was important because if it's like a something that my flaws can help other people improve, and if the shit I've gone through can help other people, get around having to go through that shit, then fuck it. Judge me if you want to, but if you can see what I'm doing for what it really is, then hell yes, then it's worth it.
No, dude, that's what it comes down to, and that's what I had to deal with. Not getting too deep into it because I know we're gonna wrap this up, but I was involved in I was a director and an actor in a series, and then it ended up going down to the can because it was like my spirituality. That's what it came down to, and like that's where I was like, you know what, fuck it, let's take a redirect. Like I'm all in now. Like it used to be like I'm all in, like I'm doing this stuff the rest of my
That's a
life because I
huge
enjoy it.
sacrifice. Wow. The world offered you up a fucking big sacrifice right there, didn't they? And
Oh
you fucking
yeah,
you did it. Wow. Good on
you know
you.
what though, dude? At the end of the day, it is a sacrifice, but it also like going through that process helped me learn so much and also see myself differently. And it's kind of like what I feel like with King Belith, like what he does. He's like, "Yo, how about you understand why you're in a kingly position instead of seeing yourself as this warrior knight that can accomplish everything? How about you understand like you can get in that phase if you have to, you don't gotta do that. And also, like, don't get whipped around doing this. So, like, it repositioned my life. And honestly, I couldn't be happier. I have more time now to do things I care about, stay focused on the journey, and like that's what it comes down to. And time is sacred.
It is,
Once
man.
again, man, like
I've
once
taken it for granted, dude. I've had so much time in the last years and years and years, and I squandered so much. I squandered so much time, you would probably beat me to I was purple if you really knew. But I'm not doing that anymore because I finally realized that I haven't been grateful and that I better fucking be grateful if I want to continue having what I have and doing what I do. I better fucking be grateful. And being grateful means like devoting your time to important things every day and not allowing the world to scare me and consume me to the point to where I can't move and I'm frozen. And that happens for me a lot of days. It sucks. Like it's the world is so heavy that some days I feel like I just can't move, and like that's not who I am. And I refuse to like let the matrix like make me into like nothing. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna fucking fight against that shit and perform some amazing rituals and be the man that I know that I am. And like some kind of crazy way, magic does that.
no, once you've accepted that you're on the journey and you're going all in, that's what you have to do. And I'm pretty sure his phone probably went. I think that's it. His phone is done. Everyone, this has been an epic night. I appreciate JD Temple for coming on. Thank you, brother. Everyone, jdtemple.info. I'll see if he'll want me to put his email down below. But yeah, we'll be sure to be doing more of these going forward. Thank you all so much for all that you've given us. That fat Muppet, look at your God, see what he did in the Old Testament, and you'll understand that's a little bit of a yabba dabba yikes. So you've been cast out. It was your time. And I'll have a great one. And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe on this video. And if you want to join my monthly Patreon rituals, go ahead and join in at patreon.com/L the Alchemist. So it's gonna be awesome. It's turn and I appreciate all y'all. Thank you, and I'll talk later.